back to Cinema Corner. I'm Blake, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Alex and Josh.
And today we are looking ahead at 2026. Blake, sir, what do we have ahead of us? Is this year going to be better than the last?
Absolutely, because Robert Pattinson has at least 3 movies, so what could be better than that? Like Alex said, we're just going to talk about some of the movies that are confirmed or pretty much confirmed that will be coming out in 2026. As always, this is kind of a list of more larger studios or more well-known actors are involved in these, and primarily are all theatrical releases. As always, with whenever we do these videos, I'm sure there'll be a whole lot that get added. I think I counted it up and we added over 21 or 22 movies to the list that we did last year. Majority of those come in the second half of the year because like the first beginning we kind of have a pretty good idea. But yeah, I think we'll just get into it and kind of just talk about some of these movies, our excitement, and for the most part, pretty much every movie that is in the first half of the year, so everything through June, there's a trailer or at least some kind of teaser. There's a couple of those that don't, which we'll talk about them. It's really once we get into the second half of the year, which is the ones that are non-confirmed, that don't have trailers or should have trailers coming soon. So we'll get to those ones. But to start the year, as always, January, February, and into March is usually a pretty rough time for movie theaters and theaters in general. And I will say for the most part, this 2026 looks like it's going to continue that trend. As in January, we have 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, Mercy, and Send Help. Josh is the 28 days, years, months, weeks, hours kind of fan in this group. So you could talk about your excitement for that one.
Yeah, they didn't really feel like taking 28 years later to make the sequel. We're getting it immediately. And I got no idea what to expect from this because the first one was such a switch when they made it, of being in just 2 different plots. So I guess I'm probably going to see it. Probably will, just to see how are they going to make this a sequel to what I saw. But can't say I'm that excited. Really can't.
It is interesting how quickly this one is coming out after the one just came out.
When did the other one come out? I feel like it just came out like in June.
Yeah, last year.
Oh, I feel like it was a little earlier. Was it that late into the year?
It was June. Yeah, it came out in that stretch of after How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, that's right. It did come out. Wow. So yeah, that is a quick turnaround for the next one to already be released.
That's what they're saying.
Interesting. Mercy is the Chris Pratt, Rebecca Ferguson movie that is some kind of like dystopian future where AI and all that controls everything. Essentially, Chris Pratt, it seems from the trailer, is convicted guilty on some kind of case, I believe a murder or something of his wife perhaps, and he has like 90 minutes or maybe 60 minutes to use. He has all this access to like all this footage and stuff to prove his innocence. Honestly, I have to double check. I don't know if this is a straight to streaming movie or not. If it's not, it probably should be.
I think it is. I thought it was Amazon, but
it could be, yeah.
I feel like it's gotta be.
I thought it was them or MGM Studios, which they own. So
that would be. It has to be Amazon.
It doesn't deserve respect to even just simply Google it right now. But yeah.
Legit, I don't care enough to have that answered. What are we doing, Rebecca? You're better than this. And then we go to Send Help, which is the Dylan O'Brien, Rachel McAdams movie of Dylan O'Brien is a douchey finance bro boss who's rude to her. Plane goes down because every January we have to have some kind of plane go down movie. RIP to Mark Wahlberg's movie last year. But they end up on an island where she basically like kind of nurses him back to health because he was knocked out for a few days. And then from there, it looks like it's some kind of like thriller thing directed by Sam Raimi. So there's going to be some wild stuff happening in it. This is such a January movie. That's all I have to say on it.
That's got Rachel McAdams in it. Hasn't let me down yet. It'll be okay.
He's such a whore for Rachel McAdams. It's insane.
No comment.
Exactly.
Then we move on to February, which we get the love movie of the century, some could even say, in Wuthering Heights. We have Crime 101, Scream 7, and How to Make a Killing. Wuthering Heights is the Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi, horny-ass movie.
Yep.
I haven't really seen too much about it. What is it about?
Oh, okay. Whole lot of horny shit going on. Whole lot of it. It's a period piece movie. It is an adaptation of a novel. However, some people are not thrilled with the so far adaptation, as to begin with, I believe Heathcliff is Jacob Elordi's character. One of the large things in the novel is he is mixed race, which has to do with their love story not being, allowed at the time, as well as him being poor and so on. So some people already right off the bat are like, well, there's one glaring issue with it. As well as I believe in the novel, they only kiss a couple times. And from the trailer the first trailer that came out was like extremely high paced. It had what's her name, Charlie XCX.
Yeah,
was like she's doing the music for it, which again, that already is like, this is a period piece that you have in newer electro person doing like the music. I think she also has music in the movie, so people already from the vibes of that are like, well, this is like the 1700s. Why are we having this techno person do a high paced trailer? And there's just a whole bunch of horny shit going on in the trailer. So from what I've seen of the people who enjoy this kind of genre, a lot of them are already out of it, as they're like, this is not a period piece. This is just, we're taking people who look very, very present day, putting them in shitty outfits and acting like the 1700s while having them be all horned up and listening to techno music.
Yeah, I think this, if it's any bit decent, it'll probably hit the TikTok crowd hard. Maybe do okay. I'd be surprised if it really bombs, but
yeah, that sounds like a TikTok kind of movie,
Yeah,
like, scenes are, playing on TikTok.
Jacob Elordi is making Margot Robbie think about leaving her husband, that kind of thing going on. Then we move on to Crime 101. This is probably the first movie of the year that actually has some kind of interest to me. This is the Chris Hemsworth, Halle Berry movie with Mark Ruffalo, where he is a criminal who does a lot of robberies along the Highway 101 over in Los Angeles. And Mark Ruffalo plays a detective who is kind of on his case. And then he eventually meets Halle Berry, who he kind of uses her as, I believe she's an insurance agent, perhaps. He kind of uses her as like an inside person for a big score. This movie looked pretty interesting to me. I honestly, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, is this a streaming movie? But it is a theatrical release one, which I definitely, like I said, is the first movie of the year that I will be excited to see.
Yeah, I think the only reason why it is a theater one is because it's made by MGM again, but I think Sony's involved. So I think that's the only reason why it even is going out to theaters and not straight to streaming.
Oh.
Yep. Found that out when I was looking it up.
Interesting. The only issue is Barry Keoghan is in this one, so yeah, immediately.
We felt that way when we saw the trailer for it the first time. That was only bad part.
Agreed. And then we go to Scream 7. Alex, this is definitely your forte that I can let you speak on this one.
Well, I'm skeptical. Let's just say that, because they managed to do Scream 5 and 6 pretty well. And obviously there's a lot of issues revolving around just the whole production of this Scream 7. You guys don't know, but the main actress of the last two is not coming back because of issues that the studio did not want to just have her be the lead anymore. So that made Jenna Ortega drop out as well. And now they're trying to bring back a lot of the OGs again. And I don't know, it just feels a little forced to be, fair with it. I'm going to go see it just because it's Scream, and honestly, there hasn't been like a bad Scream movie. There kind of has been. Scream 3 wasn't that great, but for the most part, they're bangers. They're fun, but I don't know. Scream 7 just feels like it's doomed to fail, especially in that February window.
Yeah, why is that not October?
Yeah,
come on, everybody knows you don't put out horror movies in October.
Yeah, legit, you don't. You straight up don't. It's very rare for no reason.
You know who
it's
does,
early
though?
November.
Only the GOAT puts out movies in October horror movies. Michael Myers. Shout out Halloween. Halloween ends.
Facts. Amen. Amen.
And then we go to How to Make a Killing, which had a title change. This is starring former Blake Hart Throb, Glenn Powell. Fuck this movie. Fuck him.
Yeah, I mean, it's already on a rough start of you're changing the title of your movie after already a couple kind of marketing campaigns for it, to the point where the top Google search at one point for this film was, "Is this what it used to be called?" So,
What was it called? Do we even know?
oh, yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know.
I don't remember either.
But yeah, it's that's pretty worrisome. I think that movie's gonna flop easily. Easily will flop. Just
I mean, yeah, are we shocked that this is coming out in February? It's kind of what we are expecting.
No, we are not. Then we move on to March, which usually is when you kind of start to get the kickoff a little bit of better movies coming out. We have The Bride, The Immortal Man from the Peaky Blinders franchise, Project Hail Mary, and then this is the one that doesn't have a trailer, as that's why I'm like, is this actually happening? From the research I've done, it is. It is called The Dog Stars. It is a Ridley Scott movie starring Jacob Elordi again, Margot Qualley, Josh Brolin, Guy Pearce, and others. So it has a very, very stacked cast, and it's Ridley Scott. And all that I kind of could figure out is it is a post-apocalyptic world where a virus wiped out most of humanity. And then it said something about there's Reapers. I was a little unsure if these Reapers are like a zombie kind of thing, or if it's like basically like scavenger people, where that you have to avoid like just these people who are basically just, living in this post-apocalyptic world doing what they want. I was unclear on which of those, because obviously it talks about a virus, so I'm like, okay, is this that kind of relate or what? But that's all I know about this one. And from what I've seen, everything keeps saying that it is still coming out in March of 2026, which is, as of the time of recording us, this is only 3 months away. So, well, interesting. There's not much other than that.
Crazy how we have trailers for a bunch of movies in front of this movie.
and after,
And after.
Yeah. After.
plenty after. Literally all the movies about after it do.
Yeah, just off the bat, Mortal Kombat 2 already had one. Star
Super
Wars.
Mario Galaxy just had their first one come out.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's in, like Blake said, it's only 3 months away. Man, personally, I don't mind not having a trailer until like it gets closer to the movie. But then again, if it's an unknown IP, I feel like probably best around the 3 month mark to at least show something. But
You'd think. You would
so.
think. Josh, I don't know if you want to talk about Project Hail Mary, as that is the Ryan Gosling movie.
Yeah, when it first got announced, I was like, oh shit, okay, I'll take it. Another Ryan Gosling led film. But the trailer just showed way, way too much. The one trailer was out. I think they even released a more extended version of that, and that's the one I'm referring to, because the very first one I saw didn't show much at all. And I remember when I first saw it in theaters, I was like, oh, okay, this is intriguing. I have no clue what this is about. And obviously it's about a pretty popular book. And then they just show everything in that extended one. So you're kind of going into it knowing the entire plot. And I'm curious how I'm going to feel when I see that. And if they keep releasing more too. So, yeah. Also, it kind of really is just Ryan Gosling when it comes to that movie. So I'm curious about the supporting cast. How they will do it all. It really just seems the budget went straight to him.
Well,
The Bride
There's
is
a chance.
did you have something on that?
oh no, I was going to just say that this is his chance to take on that leading role. Because it really is going to be just him.
I guess. He's got a Star Wars film coming out at some point, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
The Bride is the Maggie Gyllenhaal directed movie starring Jessica Buckley and Christian Bale as Frankenstein's The Bride. I believe Jake Gyllenhaal is also in this one as well. This one seems kind of interesting. We're kind of in a point right now where we're getting a lot of kind of this Frankenstein monstrous kind of things going on. A lot of that, honestly, if the other stuff is Robert Eggers doing a lot of his, Werewolf we'll talk about later in this year, Nosferatu and other things. But it seems, I don't know, from what I've seen about it, it seems pretty interesting. The trailers have me. I'll be seeing it, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how much we've gotten recently when it comes to even a genre. I mean, even in DC's James Gunn's world with Creature Commandos, I mean, you get some of that as well. So kind of weird, just one of those classic Hollywood things where just some reason they just pick a theme and they just everybody released it. Everyone just heard some other studio doing it and then they just steal it. But I do think out of all the ones that have come out, just because it's Christian Bale in it, this one's always intrigued me the most since I've seen.
I mean, he's a good actor, so if anyone can pull it off, it's him.
Great actor, not just good. Come on now. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely, like I said, interested. I think also there's a huge hike because of the fact that this is, you know, the Frankenstein and those kind of monsters are a major IP, but they're not owned by any studio. They have free range that anybody can do them. I think that's definitely a part of it, that everyone's kind of just doing all that, as well as like Dracula's having a big, I just saw that, I think it was a trailer that I kind of turned off when I was scrolling, but I think there's a Dracula movie coming soon with Christoph Waltz. I have to double check because that probably is coming out this year if that was a trailer, so it could be added to here. Didn't care enough. Just kept swiping. But and then the last one in March is The Immortal Man. This is a Peaky Blinders movie. Obviously, massive Peaky Blinders fan. Extremely excited for this. As somebody who was late on the Peaky Blinders train and watched all of it once it was already out. I will say it takes away from those who have not seen Peaky Blinders. You can kind of assume that he does not die in that series at any point, which definitely takes away from the finale a little bit, but still great. I'm super excited for this one. We don't have any trailer or anything for that, which is interesting given it's only 3 months away. But at the same time, it's a Netflix movie, so they don't usually tend to market things too heavily unless it's like a Stranger Things or something that is still in its prime that they're kind of focusing on a bunch. So I'm not overly surprised that this doesn't have much marketing around it, but this is definitely one that I will be excited for to release.
Do you know if this is going to be shown in theaters for like a week or whatever, or is this going to be just directly to?
It'll be just like Knives Out was, where it'll get 2 weeks before it comes out. Select theaters will get it for a theatrical run, and then it'll be on Netflix. I believe it's March 7th or 6th or something like that is when it comes to theaters, and then like the 20th is when it'll come to Netflix. So,
okay,
it'll get a little bit of a theatrical release. Then we move on to April, which is really usually when you kind of see a spike of, this is kind of usually the first like bigger movie, which the first one is the Super Mario Galaxy movie. This certainly will be a massive movie in terms of box office, I'm sure. You have the drama, the first of Robert Pattinson and Zendaya's movies together of the year, not their only one. Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, as well as the Bohemian Rhapsody, consequences continue as we have our, at least one of, I'm sure there'll be a bunch of other shitty ones as well of the biopics, but we have our Michael one, which is obviously a Michael Jackson movie.
When will it end?
I saw another one before we recorded today, and I just literally blanked it out of my head. It was just...
Oh, the Jimmy Stewart thing with that?
Yep. Yeah, that straight up looked like it was an SNL skit because it was that bad.
Yeah, the top comment was like, this looks like a bad movie trailer from a movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is real? And then I just kept moving on because I was like, I'm not even acknowledging this shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on the other side here, I'm pretty excited. I think as of right now, honestly, Super Mario Galaxy might be the one that I'm looking forward to almost the most for next year because I'm just curious how they're going to do in a sequel because I enjoyed the first one. So.
Dang. Okay. I mean, we all know this is going to be like the $1 billion movie. Like, so far, this is going to be the one up until this point.
Absolutely.
1,000%. I mean, I forgot how much the first one made, but it made a shit ton of money. I would not be surprised if this one just outdoes that one.
Yeah, it's definitely up there for my most excited, but it's going to be fun. I hope.
Okay. Let's see. You said the drama is the first of 2 Zendaya Pattinson movies?
3. First
3?
Oh, yeah.
The fuck are they doing?
You'll see.
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy? Yeah, I'm hyped for that one. Obviously, big Robert Pattinson fan, so I'm all in on that.
I need to see a bit more. besides just kind of the fun marketing they're having.
Nah, that little teaser was enough. I was like, I'll see you there. I was
Nah,
cordially
man,
invited.
I don't
I'm
know.
in. I'm in.
Well, yeah, and you're the Ready or Not guy, right?
I
Josh?
I guess. I mean, I like the first one. I don't know why there's a second one. I think this will be a sequel, like how I feel about 28 years later. Of, okay, we'll find out. Am I excited for it? No, but we'll find out.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll be there in the theaters.
yeah.
And then we move on to May, which we have The Devil Wears Prada 2, Mortal Kombat 2, and from the Star Wars franchise, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Mortal Kombat 2 is the only one that does not have a trailer of these ones. It's one of the few for the beginning half of the year that does not have any trailer. As everyone here knows that followed us over from back in the day of Alex, he's the big Mortal Kombat guy. So if you would like to comment on that.
I believe that there's no full trailer. There's like a mini teaser that's like, I don't know, 40 seconds long, that kind of briefly shows stuff. And I know they had like what's it called? I think it's Variety or some of the like that big publisher that like put out like images or stills from the movie. So I guess we're not completely in the dark, but again, this is a sequel to a movie that I thought was underwhelming in the first one. It really wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't anything too special. It wasn't bad per se, but there was room for improvement. So all I'm hoping for in this sequel is improvement. And considering that the bar is not that high, because there hasn't really been a good Mortal Kombat movie. I mean, maybe the first one, but that's like an older movie. It's just niche. So yeah, just be good. Just be good is what I'm asking for.
Yeah, you got Carl Urban in there, man. That's all you need. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that does help. I mean, he's playing Johnny Cage, so you know that does lend to be a little more on the excited end of the spectrum. But you know, still. There hasn't been a really good Mortal Kombat movie, so that's the only thing. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. As for the Mandalorian and Grogu, do you want to? Sorry,
I was just gonna say I've never seen any Mortal Kombat thing or cared to, but as soon as I saw Carl Urban's in this, more than likely I will be seeing this one. For sure, just because Carl.
he's gonna be loose too. So
I love him.
Yeah, he is gonna
love him. Yeah, I feel like Devil Wears Prada can just be a real quick touch one because we're not gonna say too much on it. This is just a
I've not
sequel
seen the
that.
first one, so I can't say anything about the sequel. I mean, I've heard of it. Obviously, anyone has heard about The Devil Wears Prada, but I've never seen the movie, so I can't say whether or not it was worthy of a sequel, or if it's just one of those kind of like cash grab sequels, just because the first one was somewhat successful. But I don't know. Have you guys seen the first one?
I'm just letting you tell on yourself, so it's okay.
What do you mean?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Have you guys seen it?
I'm not incriminating myself like you did.
I
Okay, so
absolutely
basically
have seen it.
you have it.
Unlike
haven't
you
either.
two, I support other kind of films. I have seen it. Yeah, this was definitely a cash grab. I mean, the first one, I think it was 2008 that it came out. This is very clearly just a little cash grab of it's been so long. Devil Wears Prada is a pretty iconic movie and has some pretty iconic quotes that people still say, but definitely nobody was like, we need a second one soon. So yeah, definitely a cash grab by Disney. Shout out Disney. Speaking of cash grabs, I'll let you guys go into the Star Wars Grogu movie.
Go on, Josh. I mean, because
hey, we're just gonna keep using the same phrase over and over again. I will be there. Am I excited? No, I'm not.
particularly.
No, I'm not. It feels like this is just straight up. It feels like when like Disney or Nickelodeon gives like your TV show one of their movies. This is what it feels like. It feels like Disney Channel's giving us a movie right now. That's how it looks visually. It straight up just looks like they're using their fucking just big ass blue screen that they use, and it's just going.
The volume, yeah.
Whatever it's called. I don't think it's not blue screen, but you know what I'm talking about.
It's like the big screen, yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's great for
completely agree.
shows, but for a movie you're going to shoot it on, it's very obvious you can tell it's the same. It's just going to be straight up like they just combined 3 episodes of a season. That's it.
Yeah, basically, it's like taking like the last 3 episodes of a season and extending it into one big movie and putting it in theaters is essentially what this feels like. It lacks that cinematic feel.
Exactly.
Just based off that first trailer. Now, it could be that first trailer, but I doubt it because it's obviously using footage from the movie itself. Just compare it to like any of for as bad as the sequel trilogy was, look at any of those trailers and compare it to that Mandalorian Grogu trailer, and you tell me that there's not a difference in quality.
Yeah.
Just the feeling of it is just not the same.
Yeah. This is just Disney be like, oh shit, man, we haven't done anything with this IP in a while for movies. What if we did this? Okay.
Yeah.
It's
bad when Andor has a more cinematic feel than that.
Yep.
Yeah. Fun time.
Yeah, I just pointed out with this one that it comes out Memorial Day weekend, as Disney owns May for sure. Normally early May is pretty common that we get a Marvel release. Last year we got Thunderbolts in that time. And then Memorial Day weekend was Lilo and Stitch, which was the first and for the long time only $1 billion US release movie until Zootopia 2 just beat it. And as of recording this, we are just about to get Avatar 3, which we fully expect to hit that $1 billion mark. So yeah, I just commented that this one is Memorial Day, which for the most part, the 3 major holidays for movies tend to be Memorial Day. You get Thanksgiving and Christmas are the big ones. More recently, 4th of July has become a pretty popular movie release and has produced. So, I mean, you could argue now there are 4 kind of primetime release dates. But I just wanted to comment that this one is Memorial Day, as Disney had $1 billion last Memorial Day, and now they're following up with another big IP release on Memorial Day weekend. So I'm sure box office wise at Star Wars and Memorial Day, it still will perform.
100%. You know what it is? It's because they're going to capitalize on it. Grogu, it sells. So all the kids are gonna want to go and force their parents to go take them. So I would not be surprised if this is maybe not the best reviewed Star Wars movie, but for some reason it's gonna hit that $1 billion mark. I would not be surprised. Honestly, would not be surprised.
Then we go to June, which is kind of the end of the more movies that have trailers. All this one's a little light. We have Masters of the Universe, non-trailer movie. This is a pretty old IP that we are not familiar with. All we really know is Jared Leto is playing Skeletor. I believe there's some other decent-ish cast members in this, but as soon as we all learn that, I think all 3 of us have the same reaction of,
yeah,
good luck. Yeah. Have fun. Scary Movie 6. Oh, go ahead.
Go on. No, go on. You do your thing.
Scary Movie 6 comes out. This is another non-trailer movie. I don't know who is begging for a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 2nd of these, but here we are. Just now we got Disclosure Day trailer, which is a Steven Spielberg movie. I actually just was working on this list, and originally this was called The Dish, or at least was what it was. And just when they released the trailer, I think as of a day ago of us recording this, at the end it said Disclosure Day. I was like, oh, this is the Steven Spielberg movie. All that was known about it is it was a UFO-based movie. We knew Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt were in it, but it was called The Dish as of the stuff I was reading of within the past week, and now it's Disclosure Day. So we just got a trailer for this one. Toy Story 5 is in June. This is a non-trailer movie. It does have a little bit of promotion, as there is a, I don't know what you call it, a picture, basically, a still of the characters, and it kind of is showing that this movie is going to be based on the toys are kind of dealing with technology in today's day and age as like a distraction for kids. And Supergirl, this one also just got a trailer as of a week ago, I think it was, that we got the trailer as of us recording. Mm-hmm. So this is obviously the major DC release. They do have one more later in the year in terms of theatrical movies, but this is kind of the bigger one. You would assume that they're going to be marketing and hoping does well box office due to Supergirl being a pretty large IP and seeing her already in Superman. But those are the major June releases that we know of so far.
Okay. I'll touch back onto the Masters of the Universe. I believe we were talking about this after our last recording, and we were like naming off people that were in the movie, and we're like, okay, all right, interesting. And then you said Jared Leto. So, like you all said, it's just, why are we doing this? Why are we continuing to put this fucker in movies? Just stop. Just fucking stop. He doesn't sell.
What
He
does he
just
have?
ruins the vibe. Just fucking stop.
What does that
Scary
man
Movie
have
6.
on Hollywood?
Yeah, I mean, something. He has something. Scary Movie 6. I mean, listen, it's been a while. Fuck it. I would go see this movie because I enjoyed particularly the first two movies. So to have the Wayans back in it, I'm just more intrigued. That's the word that I'm going to use for this movie. Intrigued. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know if anyone else wants to touch on that.
Disclosure Day is the one that I have also recently seen, but I did not know what you mentioned. But that cast has me instantly excited. And of course, just being a sci-fi slut, I am very much into that film. I am a little worried about it being Steven Spielberg because I don't really, not that hot on him, just to be honest, especially this late. But for that cast, I think it would be hard to not have at least a decent film. And Toy Story 5, why are we doing that? I mean, this is another fucking shitty ass Disney cash grab. I mean, that just seems what 2026 is really being. For just being honest, just Disney just not giving up.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
I mean, both Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 4 crossed the $1 billion mark. I saw Toy Story 3, I think, once in my life. Never have watched it again. I never saw Toy Story 4. Don't plan
4
on
was
it.
bad. 4 was pretty damn bad.
I imagine it was. I was a big Toy Story 2 guy growing up, but didn't care. I watched the third one. I was like, okay, I didn't really need this, so I'm move on. And then 4, I was like, okay, fuck you, Disney. 5th, I'm certainly like, fuck you, Disney. Don't care for this, but, you know, they've made $1 billion, so we're going to keep doing it.
Once again, catering to kids wanting to go to theater. Honestly, kids are the single, like, they're saving theaters, unfortunately, and it has to be these cash grab movies. And movie studios know this, so they keep pumping.
Well, we got more we'll talk about next month when that case. But
yeah.
Any closing thoughts here on Supergirl? Anyone before we move on?
Yeah, trailer was showing that it's going to be way different than Superman, and I think that's all you can ask for. So, looked good.
Yeah. Gave me Guardians vibes, even though it's not directed by James. So, I've always fucked with Guardians. It's in space. I'm there.
Apparently, the comics it's based about is extremely depressing. So,
yeah, it's the Woman of Tomorrow comics. Oh yeah, it is. And I think that's a big thing. Everyone was like, oh, like when she showed up at the end of Superman, it's like, oh, why is she acting this way? She's not supposed to be that way. I'm like, well, if you're what, at the time she was like 15, 16 on Krypton, and you see the destruction of your planet and your people, your friends, they all die. So you see that. Yeah, Clark had it easy. He was a baby. She did not. So, yes. Tough upbringing leads to traumatic events. So, yeah. She's different than Superman, for sure.
Yeah, it will be interesting how they do that with the time story, as obviously in the trailer she says how she's turning 23. Clark is at least 30 years old based on Superman, where they say so. She is quite a bit younger than Clark, so that will be a bit interesting to see. Did Clark's parents ship him out way before Krypton was going to be destroyed, or what kind of is the timeline there of why was Clark sent to, Earth that early, or maybe was she not around for the destruction of Krypton? So that'll be a whole thing. We'll see what happens. Moving on to July, we start with Minions 3. As I said, kind of the second half here of 2026 is when we get a lot less trailers. This one does have a 4th of July release. Like I said, this has kind of become the fourth kind of major holiday almost for movies that do well. We had Jurassic World was last, 2025, which was in the top 5 for sure of releases for movies for box office numbers. And 2 years before, so in 2024, Despicable Me 4 came out this time, and that also had like over 900. I don't think it hit a billion, but it was over 900 million, so that did massive box office numbers. So Minions and that they are capitalizing on that once again.
God, let it end, please.
I surprisingly have seen all of them but one.
I come pretty close to that too.
I just didn't see the last one, Despicable Me 4. I've seen all of them.
That.
They just somehow get to me. Just someone's like, hey, want to see it? Okay.
I believe Rise of Gru is the only one I haven't seen. And then we go to, shout out Disney cash grabbing, Moana live action coming out in July. There is a little bit of it's kind of a hybrid of a teaser trailer and a teaser and an actual trailer. Obviously, anybody who knows me, big Moana guy. Moana 1 is one of the top 3 animated movies of all time in my eyes. I love it. Was not asking for this. Do not need this. Will not be seeing this. Disgusting. It looks so bad. You want to talk about a Disney, kind of release of a movie? That's exactly what this looks like. Obviously, it's early on in the trailer, so maybe they're going to touch stuff up, but it seems like they didn't even set foot near Hawaii for the filming of this movie. They said, let's do this in Los Angeles and we'll make it work with the green screen.
I mean, at least they had the decency to wait for, making a remake of all the classic Disney movies. They gave him time to breathe. They gave him 20 years before making the cash grab live action movies. But they said, Moana? Oh, no, we're going to cook that up immediately. That's just despicable.
Yep, it really is. And then we go to the second of 3 Robert Pattinson Zendaya movies of The Odyssey. This one does have a trailer. Like we said, this is right before Avatar comes out, and there is a lot of kind of speculation on what will be released during the theatrical run of Avatar, with so many eyes will be on it. So I'm sure a lot of these bigger movies towards the end of the year, there will be more trailers coming out that just aren't out at this time. But The Odyssey has its one little teaser that came out a little bit ago. There's a lot of stills behind the scenes shots that I have been seeing online, and there's been a lot of hate in the comments about it, how it looks. I don't know what people are talking about. I'm like, okay, I don't see anything that's like glaringly like, I don't know. I've seen some people like, oh, this is going to suck. Like, this looks terrible, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know what we're talking about, to be honest, from these stills people, but I'm still excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because of how Oppenheimer and like Interstellar kind of established this thing for Christopher Nolan films to like some reason just be insanely accurate because he went the extra lengths, to where I think, hey man, step it back, fanboys. It's okay for him to just make the movie look pretty right now for a movie like this called The Odyssey. It's okay. It's not that deep, man. Especially for a film like this. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be there. It's Christopher Nolan. I made the mistake last time of not seeing Oppenheimer in theaters, and I swore to myself after I was tasked to watch it that I was gonna go see The Odyssey in theaters. So that's what I'll do. Especially with the slate in July being what it is. It's really only 2 movies that I will be going to go see, and it's this one and the next one for sure.
No, don't you mean Minions 3?
Oh, no, sir.
Okay, we're going to act like you're not a big Minions guy. All right, whatever.
I mean,
and then we go to Spider-Man Brand New Day. Honestly, for me, there's a lot of, right now hype around Doomsday trailer, what's going on with that. I'm the kind of person that's like, we got like a little teaser for Brand New Day, but I'm like, we have nothing else for a trailer in Brand New Day, and that's a lot sooner than Doomsday. So me personally, I'm kind of like, where's this trailer? Like, I'll get the Doomsday eventually. I find it more weird that I don't have anything for Spider-Man yet. That's kind of my thoughts on that.
Well, I think it's going to come out because both of Doomsday and Spider-Man Brand New Day are fighting potential leaks, as that has both happened recently, whether those are actually real, because I don't trust anything in the day of AI anymore. And also that Disney has gone pretty heavy wiping those too. So that's the only thing that makes it a little legitimate to me, that they keep getting wiped off. So I'm assuming they're going to probably have their hand forced and that get released to please you there. We'll see. It would be nice. Get both. Be kind of cool. Little MCU hype.
I mean, I'm excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day, just based off like the stills and like the pictures that we got of like behind the scenes with him and the tank, which seems to be like the main thing in this movie, at least from what the public was able to see for themselves. And yeah, I mean, just I fuck with that suit. Like I fuck with it heavy, and yeah, I'm just excited to get Spider-Man and where he left off. Yeah, this I'm excited to see what Destin Dent and Daniel Cretton what he cooks up. So
yeah, me personally, I kind of was hoping that this would be kind of the focus right now would be the Spider-Man trailer for now, and Doomsday. That hype was going to be held off, and I was a big believer of hoping like Super Bowl. I think that'd be dope of like not knowing a trailer's coming. All of a sudden you're just watching the Super Bowl and we get a trailer for the first one for Doomsday. I thought that would have been hype. Obviously, Marvel is not going with that approach because, like you said, they've been scrubbing and there's been a bunch of leaks and there's like multiple coming out and what they're based on. So it's very clear that Marvel will pretty soon here be releasing quite a bit for both of those movies. So that dream is dead for me. But yeah, I was really hoping for just Spider-Man now. Wait a couple more months, then we can start building up the Doomsday hype. But here we are, probably going to get them all before this airs. I'm sure everything will be out. But then we go to August. The only one that I could find was Thread and Insidious Tale. Nothing, no information.
Gosh.
No, I literally have no idea. No idea what comes in this one. Seriously.
So, is it an Insidious movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, allegedly. That's what they say.
And that's the only thing you found for August?
That is correct. Yep, that's it.
I mean, obviously there's going to be movies released in August, but like you said
course.
earlier, they're just not, for whatever reason, they're not saying or they're not putting it out there that there's movies coming out in August for some reason.
Yeah, I feel like the back half of the year is a lot of them still trying to figure out dates and a bunch of bullshit. I feel like August also always sucks for movies anyways. Then we go to September where we have How to Rob a Bank. This is a David Leitch. One of those is probably close. He is a director who did Deadpool 2, Bullet Train, and Fall Guy.
I'm there.
This movie stars Nicholas Hoult and Zoe Kravitz, and it says the premise is bank robbers are posting their heists on social media, which results in like kind of law enforcement coming after them. That's about all that I know. I believe Christian Slater is in this movie. I don't remember anyone else, but mainly just Nicholas Hoult and Zoe Kravitz, I'm assuming are the bank robbers it stars.
That's all I need to know. I mean, after you said he directed Deadpool 2, Bullet Train, and Fall Guy, that's all I need to know. But the fact that we get Nicholas Hoult and Zoe Kravitz as the leads, I'll be there no matter what.
Yeah. Can't say it better.
Then we go to the second DCU James Gunn era release of the year in Clayface. This one's coming out in September. Obviously, this one has a background or behind the scenes shot. There's a lot of things that I'm filming over in Liverpool, I believe was the city, which some people are a little like, okay, well, we'll see what that's about. This will be our first time in live action seeing Gotham. We're assuming, I'm guessing Supergirl isn't going to do anything with Gotham as it seems off-world, but this will be our first time seeing Gotham City in James Gunn's in a live action, as there's a little glimpse of it during Creature Commandos, but that's about it. So little nerves from some people about the fact that they're shooting kind of in the same areas that the Batman shot a lot of where their Gotham was based. So hoping, not too confusing on those. But all in all, I mean, I'm definitely excited for this. I believe if it hasn't been announced that it is pretty clearly going to be a rated R movie. So that'll be kind of cool for them to do a little darker kind of thing with Clayface. But I'm absolutely excited for this one.
Yeah, apparently it's like because he's a shapeshifter and everything like that, and he takes different forms. It's gonna lean heavy into like the body horror aspect of it, and showing how his powers are not always as pleasant as they seem, or as useful as you think they are. But I'm excited. I mean, I think this is a Mike Flanagan movie potentially.
Yes, it is.
So definitely interesting. So I feel like once I see what the trailer looks like, then I can make my full I'm in or out. But as of right now, I'm leaning more towards like, yeah, I'm definitely in.
We'll see.
Oh.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm with Blake more on the skepticism about this one because we'll quickly find out what they're probably going to do with Batman, and also the fact that this is a later release. We still don't know what's going on with Warner Brothers. Makes me more worried.
That doesn't worry. This does also release on 9/11, I believe, so never forget.
Oh,
Okay, so it's
yeah.
elite. All right, I'm in.
Moving on to October, the only release is Street Fighter. We did just recently kind of get was it a teaser trailer or was it a trailer? We got some information
at
this.
Blooper reel, to be honest.
Yeah,
but,
the gaming awards, the whole cast showed up in like a limo trying to copy what the Thunderbolts did. This movie started off looking like it might be kind of interesting, and then the more we read the cast, we're like, oh, so that guy sucks, that guy sucks, that guy sucks. So this went from somewhat interested to I'm completely out. I don't care about this shitty ass cast.
Yeah.
Same. Glad we're all on the same page.
Yeah, fuck that. Then we go to November where we have an animated The Cat in the Hat. Now, there's a trailer for this, and when I saw this coming out in November, I was very confused because like I could have swore I saw an in theaters trailer for this movie months ago. So then I looked it up. It originally was supposed to come out February 2020 in 26. But then in August, they switched it to now be November of 26. So they already ran it in theaters trailers and then decided to pull it and bump it all the way till November.
Yeah.
Which I feel is a very weird move for an animated movie that you're assuming was pretty far along in its animation to be done, to have trailers and be promoting it. Because I believe it was like The Bad Guys 2 when I saw that, and I think that was in August. So, very weird move that they pushed this one off, but I guess the article I was reading said there was no like issues with anything else. It was literally they wanted to try to capitalize on November and like the holiday time. That's why they pushed it all the way to November. So, very strange.
I mean,
I've seen ads for it as well.
It's if you're saying that it was originally February, that's kind of where movies go to die. So I can kind of see that, but again, I don't understand what their whole marketing strategy was there. Why put it in theaters and run the trailer? Because I definitely remember seeing it too. I remember seeing. I was not really impressed by it, but nonetheless, I saw it. So the fact that we're gonna have to see that again, come I don't know, sometime maybe in April next year, we're probably gonna start seeing it again, and they're gonna start running it again. It's gonna feel kind of odd, but
yeah, I would guess because April is when Super Mario comes out. I would guess during Super Mario we'll see trailers for that because that audience.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they've announced exactly when, but I'm assuming this is around a Thanksgiving release. That was kind of their plan to try to hop on the Thanksgiving release train to get that money is my guess. But yeah, just very weird move to have in theaters trailers and then pull it that late.
I mean, money, man. Money talks.
Yeah, I guess so. Then we go into Ebenezer, A Christmas Carol. The reason I did this, 80,000, version of this is because this movie is supposed to star Johnny Depp, which is kind of interesting as we have not seen old Depp in quite a while. So I don't know who is like the studio behind it, but I looked it up again today to confirm, and yeah, he is supposed to be starring as Ebenezer in this. So I'm assuming again this is probably a Thanksgiving release. A little weird for Christmas movie. You'd think do a Christmas release, but it is a November release. I'm assuming Thanksgiving, and it stars Johnny Depp
and Daisy Ridley.
Oh,
I did not know that.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, so
that was the only part I knew about this movie.
So Josh is definitely there. Okay.
I'm set. Yeah, that's the only thing I've seen of that is that.
I mean, I wonder who's doing it then.
I don't know. I don't know
Disney.
that.
No, I don't think it'd be Disney.
Strange.
I mean, I'm sure both those actors do not fuck
releases
with Disney no more. So.
And then we go to Hunger Games, Sunrise of the Reaping. This is the Hey Mitch Hunger Games,
era.
So this is before everything we saw in the previous ones. I never saw the sunrise of the, or not sunrise. What was the song?
The Ballad of Songbird
Songbirds.
and Snakes. I actually low key fucked with it. I didn't think that I would, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. I mean, it wasn't anything special, but it was pretty decent. So when they announced this, and I saw the trailer for Sunrise of the Reaping, and it has some pretty good actors in there, I think I'll go see this. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, Joey, some reason, really hates the prequels and the idea of these being prequels. So I gotta ride my woman and be a hater on this one, and I probably won't see it. Reason? I don't know.
Because she said so.
Gotta support.
Reason unknown.
Oh, yeah.
And then we go to December, where we get some heavy hitters, starting with Jumanji 3, getting the cast back together again. We got Dwayne, we got Jack, we got Karen, we got Kevin Hart.
Is Nick Jonas coming back?
That I do not know. I do not know if I can confirm the Jonas brother is in it or not. But yeah, Jumanji 3, December. These movies are pretty fun, which is surprising, but who knows what The Rock is going to try to do with it now that he's a douchebag. Even bigger douchebag than he used to be, I guess I should say. I imagine this one's tone's going to be different. He's going to try to be like more serious and have a lot of sacrifice himself and, you know, try to act and shit. And it's like, shut up, man. Just be a dumb big goof. That's what your role is. That's what you are. Know your role. You're not Batista. Shut up. So yeah, Jumanji 3.
I mean, I saw the first two, so I feel almost obligated to go see this too. I was like, and I had fun with the first two, so yeah. Christmas time, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because we know why not. There's a lot of other stuff going on Christmas time. You have an excuse.
I mean, that's
Dodge
true.
it.
This is insane. Right here. Wow.
Then we'll go to Avengers Doomsday. A lot of hype behind this one, obviously. Can't wait to see the trailer. Probably will be a review for the trailer before this video even comes out, but as of now, we have not seen said trailer.
Oh, God.
Allegedly, there's 4 trailers.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what they're
Or
saying.
like three teasers, and then it like culminates in
Another trailer.
one full trailer. Yeah,
Yeah.
like an actual like full length trailer. So
Let's just real quick. We'll talk about what's out there. Obviously, it's all leaks, but apparently the first one is heavy. Chris Evans coming back to reprise his Steve Rogers role, seemingly as if it's taking place right around the time where we saw him and Peggy dancing, as we've all kind of seen some of the rumors. If that is true, which we'll probably know by the time this actually comes out, what are our thoughts on that?
Man, I'm really trying to stop my feelings, you know, and just let this movie happen. I'm really just trying to go in this with just open arms, let it at me, and go from there. Because if I let these trailers get to me, I'm scared, I'm going to be cynical, and I'm just not going to like it no matter what. That's how I feel. And I don't think the trailers are going to help, especially if that leak, if that's really what we're going to see. Right off the bat for me, I'm just like, okay.
yeah,
That's how I feel.
I feel like it's just trying to reopen something that should have just stayed closed. You know, felt like that was a good ending. We didn't need to touch on that, and the fact that you're going back to that specific spot means that you're trying to write your way back into that. And I don't know, skeptically optimistic is what I'm just gonna say.
You know, I'll say it. That's fine. I'm fine with this. I was the one who, day one, when Robert Downey Jr. was announced, I was pissed. I was annoyed. I was not giving him any hope. I have stayed on that train. Fuck him. Yeah, if that is true, that we're just going right back to the well, we're gonna get the gang all together. Let's see Scarlett Johansson show up too while we're at it. I've also been a pretty skeptical. I'm not a big Russo brothers guy. I think they're pretty talentless. I think we have seen outside of Marvel they can't do shit. And I think inside Marvel they rely on other things, other people. They don't do anything impressive to me. Yeah, if this stuff is true, I will definitely be in the I will be seeing this out of hate. out of spite, and it will not have a chance of me liking it because it's just disgusting what Marvel is doing. Just, if we're just going to tear everything down that you guys closed up so well for all those characters and everything that was done well, if we're just going to tear it all down for the sake of making more money on the already most profitable movie franchise of all time, I will have no other choice but to just be the one to say, you know what, fuck you. You've lost out. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm allowed to say your fan service is bullshit. You guys are lazy and you suck. So that's my thoughts as of now. And like I said, the trailers are only going to reinforce it. And I am petty, and I'm fine with that. So
it's valid.
Move on to Dune Messiah, which is the third of 3 Robert Pattinson Zendaya movies of the year. There are rumors Doomsday and Dune are allegedly coming out the same weekend, but there have been, a lot of people, myself included, have thought there's zero chance they let that happen. One of the studios will back down, but instead of backing down, it seems that actually Dune is trying to move up to be an October or November release, which I think would be kind of dope to see a movie move up a little bit, especially one like this that I'm very excited for. Like we said, October as of now looks very, very weak. Even November, if they want to take a Thanksgiving release, they don't have too much competition so far. Hunger Games, I think, is going to be Thanksgiving most likely, because I believe that Ballad of the Songbirds was a Thanksgiving release, so I'm sure that will be one. But, I think Dune should know that it has enough weight behind it that it can release that same weekend and not be afraid of it bombing or anything. So, yeah, Dune Messiah.
Yeah,
no trailer as of yet.
I hope it goes for that November to make money. I don't want it to compete any chance at all with Doomsday. Doing that Thanksgiving release would be pretty good, because we saw literally Wicked and Zootopia make a shit ton of money and do really well for Thanksgiving, to the point where I almost wonder if Thanksgiving break is honestly more profitable than anything you could release ever in December, because those movies just went ridiculous. It was nuts.
Yeah. And plus, I feel like we're all selfish and we just want it sooner than later. So the fact, if we can even get it a month earlier, I think we'd be happy. But yeah, no, this is, I'm going to say it. This is going to be my one, the one that I'm looking forward to the most. 1000%. It's going to be Dune Messiah. I'm very intrigued, especially with the comments that Timothy said, where he's like, oh yeah, he had to shave his head for it. It's a different time. Like, okay, let's see what Denis cooked up.
Yeah, my thing is, this has a 1 year, the Dune trilogy will have a 1 year head start on the Batman, and we will get this entire trilogy before the Batman 2. That's what I have to say on the subject. Yeah. And then we finish out with Werewolf, which is Robert Eggers, his classic, monster movie from back in the ye old days. This is a Christmas release, as Nosferatu was for him as well. Pretty much starring if you saw Nosferatu, just switch out the, Bill Skarsgård playing the monster, and you got the same cast. You got Lily Rose Depp, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Willem Dafoe. I believe there's one more person who's also in this. I don't think it's Nicholas Hoult, but I think there's one more person who was in that who's also in this one. But yeah,
Truly say I know nothing about this film at all. Probably on purpose.
Yeah, I don't really care too much for him, honestly. I've seen some of his work. He doesn't blow me away like some people act. I will say I think Nosferatu was shot. It had some really cool shot scenes. On that, it was extremely, extremely underwhelming. So, it's a Christmas release. But if Doomsday is also coming out around that time, don't know how much Werewolf I'm going to be seeing it.
That is a lot of competition that month for those 3 movies before it.
Yep.
You think I give a damn?
So, as of now, that is our Christmas release, but I would assume Doomsday, I don't know the exact date, or they haven't announced the exact date either. I'm assuming Doomsday will probably be like the week before, similar to what Avatar is doing this year, of it the week before. That way it gets its, opening weekend massive boost, and then the following week, with being the holiday, getting a boost there as well. So they kind of get like a massive 10-day inflation of their numbers, is what I'm assuming Doomsday will be as well. Along with that, I forgot to mention part of that is, Supergirl is the week before 4th of July, and then, like I said, Minions 3 is the week of 4th of July. I kind of wonder if Supergirl is kind of hoping for that, if they'll get their initial opening weekend, the bigger diehard fans who will go see it opening weekend will see it, and then just due to word of mouth as well as just being the weekend, maybe hoping second weekend will also have a big box office numbers. I kind of wonder if that's what DC's hoping for, that approach will be with Supergirl being the week right before 4th of July. But I guess we'll see. That's kind of the major holiday.
I would say that's probably the idea. However, with Minions 3 being that release on 4th of July, I don't think it's going to work out as well. Like, I feel like with, say, Doomsday does come out the 18th, which is the Friday before. I think Christmas is, it's Friday.
It'll be a Friday next year. Yep.
Yeah, so it's going to be the 18th. So I feel like with that, you're not going to compare, like, Werewolf to Minions 3. It's like, that's a rated R movie, but definitely there's a higher chance that people are going to go and prefer to watch Doomsday over Werewolf than, Supergirl's that PG-13, and then you got this basically E for everyone movie the following week. I don't think it's going to work out as well, but, personally, I think I would have moved her up at least another week to kind of give that, like, 2-week gap before Minions takes over the box office, unfortunately.
Nacho last week of June might be perfect. Everything will work out. But yeah, no, I mean, I could see if that's kind of their approach. Like you said, I don't think, obviously those are very different things to compare those two movies, obviously, with how much Marvel has behind it already. But I think it could still see really good numbers. It's not going to outdo Minions, obviously, but I think it could still see that second week drop that a lot of movies sometimes get. I think they're kind of just going to try to negate that as much as they can, and I think it's a pretty good plan that hopefully they do. And you might get those people who go see it again, because I think with Christmas that's maybe a little more common, but you might see those people who see Doomsday opening weekend and then Christmas comes around and they're around their families who are like, oh, let's go see a movie. Some people, that's kind of their tradition, and they're like, I'll go see Avengers again, like I'm a fan, whatever. And so I'm sure Doomsday's numbers will go pretty insane for the first 10 days. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the movie releases. I feel like there's a couple things we usually talk about with these. We give out awards for the movies that we just saw, but this one, just kind of what is the most excitement for each person, even though I feel like we've talked about that a little bit, but just kind of restating that again.
Josh?
I mean, I agree. I know, Alex, you already said yours was Dune. I mean, mine has to be Dune. That's a chance that we could have the best sci-fi trilogy of all time. Seriously. I mean, that's what's at stake right now with that movie. And just what a gift that would be for me. So it just has to be that for me. Has to.
Can you include an actor of Robert Pattinson's caliber to that cast as a potential villain in the movie? Oh, it just gives me goosebumps. Like, yeah, nah, man, for sure. That is 1000% the movie of the year that I'm looking forward to, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys said, it's tough not to say that, just because it genuinely does have the trajectory that it could be the greatest trilogy of all time. But I mean, obviously, I just have to throw in The Immortal Man. Obviously, massive Peaky Blinders fan. But for me personally, I'm excited to see what that's going to be. Obviously, like I said, Barry Keoghan is in this one, so that does scare me a little bit. But at the end of the day, they got Cillian Murphy. Other than that, I legitimately don't know if any other original cast members are in this. The other people I know, like Rebecca Ferguson's in this, which again, that makes me excited. But I'm a little don't know what it's going to be, but I have to give that one a shout out too, because massive Peaky Blinders guy.
Well, fair enough. And it does have Cillian, or I mean, I'm assuming Cillian's in it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He's the only one that I know from the cast of the TV show that's in it.
Oh, okay.
That's it. So that's kind of interesting. And then the other thing is $1 billion movies. That's kind of the big question. I thought we talked about it last year, but I listened back. We didn't, because I thought at one point I kind of talked about it, like my prediction of which ones would be. So I don't know if you guys want to, Babe Ruth this thing and call your shots on the exact movies, or if people just want to throw out numbers of how many they think we might have in 2026.
I could do both if you want.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's just going to be max 2. I'm thinking, and it's going to be a barely 2. Just what's going on in the world. And I kind of feel like this year, with the kind of great movies we had, it was a struggle to get to $1 billion movies. And my 2, now here comes where the guess is of. I know 1 is guaranteed going to be Illumination film. It's either going to be the Super Mario one, because now that the Switch 2 is out with Nintendo, that marketing for that film is both going to be from the actual studios making it. It's going to be putting out a lot, and Nintendo themselves could potentially release a game alongside with that movie. That could be just a big money winner. And then also the fact that Minions 3, that's the other one I think that is just the one of 2, is 4th of July weekend. That's a moneymaker, as you already explained. I just feel like these kid animation movies are doing great, and Disney is shit in the bed next year. And then my second one to bold is I do think Dune Messiah could have a chance, just because Dune Part 2 did almost 800 mil. And it seems like typically the third one, if you're adding a big cast member like Robert Pattinson, if the marketing goes well, you're also in December.
You think with it coming out with Avengers at that same time with pretty similar...
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean with December. I'm saying with the odds of it potentially going up, I meant to say potentially November. I think that would be my bold take of it could hit $1 billion if they do that move up. Otherwise, I really do think just only 2. I think it might be rough next year.
Interesting.
I'm saying there's 3.
Calling
Avengers
your shot?
Doomsday.
Really?
Avengers Doomsday. I mean, it has to. That's what it has. It's like one of those where it has to.
I want it to, maybe, if it's good.
And listen, it's not about whether or not it will or not. That's what they're aiming for. It has to hit that $1 billion mark at least. I think every single Avengers movie, Avengers movie has hit that $1 billion mark. So for this one to be the first one not to, that'd be a huge letdown. So that's 1.
I don't know if the OG one did or not, actually.
Oh, easily did.
Yeah.
Really?
Google,
show me. I think it was 5th all time for a while until Civil War. Yeah.
Yeah, Avenger. Oh, that's of course going to show me the wrong one. Yeah, keep talking. I'll find it out.
Okay, number 2 is going to be 1000% the Super Mario movie. That's just, it has April and nothing else around it. And then the third is going to be Minions 3. That I was just going to say, Illumination is gonna fucking rake in a shit ton of money. It's going to be insane. Yeah, so I'm going to say those 3 for sure, with the potential, just because of Star Wars and then the Grogu aspect of it. Again, kids are going to want to go see it. It might hit that 900, maybe billion mark, but I'm going to say it's going to come just short of it. So I'm going to say 3.
Blake, before you say yours, Avengers did make 1.5 bill.
1.5. Wow.
Yep.
I didn't realize it did that crazy numbers.
Yep.
Yeah. For 2012.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I lean towards Alex's 3 personally. And I, like you said, I could see a potential for 4. I think we're all in agreement. I would put everything on the Super Mario movie will hit $1 billion. That is the one that I'm like, I was kind of thinking, I was like, okay, how many can I do for sure will hit $1 billion? And I came up with 2 that I was like, I would put everything on these will hit $1 billion. And it was the Super Mario movie and Avengers Doomsday. I feel like is still going to hit the $1 billion mark. I just don't see a world where it doesn't. It just is, it's too big of a movie. I think too big of a franchise, bringing people back, whether good or bad for the actual storyline. I think those 2 are absolute locks. And then, yeah, like you said, I feel like there's enough big releases that I feel like we'll get another one to sneak in there, maybe 2. But honestly, I think the one that I feel like is going to still hit $1 billion, which I feel like is a little crazy to say because I feel like it's down here. I think Spider-Man Brand New Day will still hit $1 billion.
Yeah, that's not great. You should say that.
Every movie in the Tom Holland, all 3 have hit $1 billion. Yeah. I think this one definitely has it down. In terms of the hype around it. I think a lot of people, especially with it coming out around the Odyssey time. So that's the main reason why I kind of think it's a little crazy to say it's going to hit $1 billion, but like, I don't know. I'm just going off track record. It's done it 3 straight times. Like, I feel like it's Spider-Man. He's such a massive IP that people who don't watch superhero movies still see Spider-Man. So I think it gets the third slot for the third $1 billion movie. But then my fourth one is, I agree with Alex. I think Star Wars Mandalorian, being the combo of it being the Star Wars franchise as well as Memorial Day weekend. Lilo and Stitch just did $1 billion, which I think is kind of crazy because that one didn't have good word of mouth at all, and it still hit $1 billion. So I think the Star Wars franchise, with that aspect of the holiday weekend, I think it'll still get it. So that's kind of my fourth. I think Toy Story is another one. The past 2 have hit, 3 and 4 have hit $1 billion. So that's one that I would say confidently I don't think hits $1 billion. But I just wanted to kind of put that as one that has hit $1 billion that I would say confidently I don't see a world where Toy Story 5 gets $1 billion. And honestly, I would expect it to really be closer to that 500, 550 mark. I don't see it going into even 700. I think that one's going to have a pretty big drop off for the franchise.
Yeah, and I agree with Josh. And if Dune does move up to like that November release,
True.
I would not be surprised if it hits like that 800, 900 mark, just because of like the hype around it. And I think I do remember saying that the part 2 did hit like 800 million.
Yeah,
so
I believe it did. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there's a chance it could do it, especially with the move. I think the move would be the big thing. If it shifts up a month or 2, I think that would definitely give it a massive boost in my eyes of doing it. But if it does hit $1 billion, I mean, obviously I'm sure we'll all be excited for that because we all have high expectations. I guess if it ends up not being good, that would suck for all of us. But I think obviously we're all hyped for it. That if it hit $1 billion, I wouldn't be too surprised to be happy for it. I just as of now don't see it.
I'll go one step further with 2026 as a whole. I feel like, well, as I said, I feel for sure there's going to be 3 movies that hit $1 billion. But I'm going to say overall as a year, I would not be surprised if there's a lot of movies that almost hit that $1 billion mark. They're in that 800 to 900 mil mark. Just because of like the IPs, like Moana live action, I feel has a chance to kind of like rake in money just because, again, that's kind of what it's meant for. Like I said, Star Wars, I feel like it may not hit that billions, but it's going to definitely hit that 800 to 900 mark.
I mean, we didn't even, no one mentioned the Odyssey. I mean, Oppenheimer did really, really good in box office for an R-rated movie, and this is obviously Christopher Nolan's next movie after the Oscar. Kind of has a little extra hype around him now that maybe the non, as much of cinephile people are now. He's a bigger household name. The cast is outrageous. That, I mean, you could even throw Odyssey. I definitely could, because I think Oppenheimer almost hit $1 billion.
It was literally, I was just looking up while you're talking, it straight up was 24 million short.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's another one that could be for that. Like I said, I think there'll be 3, possibly 4 that I think the Odyssey is definitely one to keep an eye out on that, especially because they made a deal that it gets IMAX priority even once Spider-Man comes out. So yeah, I would not put it past it.
My worry is about how jam-packed that July is and potential movie fatigue for the average watcher, and that being rated R. That's the only reason why. And that's the only reason why I am saying Doom Messiah, the only chance it has is it goes to November, because, September, October, and even the current November releases really aren't that much what's currently out right now. So you get a break from movies, and then you see those trailers, you're like, hell yeah, let's watch this big blockbuster. But July, you already got the parents are going to go take their kids out to Minions, or you're going to take your little brother, little sister, go see that. And then you got Moana, and then also potentially then pick and choose Spider-Man and the Odyssey. It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
That's a big month. A lot of money.
True.
I just out of curiosity, I checked the box office for the last 2 Jumanji movies. Both of them hit that 900 mark, like 900 to 800 mark. So honestly, I would not be surprised if even that one hits that like 700, 800 mark too.
And Oppenheimer also had free advertisement with the meme of doing Barbenheimer too. Keep that in context as well. That definitely helped at least a bit of people that probably weren't going to see that movie, just thought it'd be funny to see both on the same day.
True.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, 26 looks like it could be a pretty good year for movies. I don't remember. I think honestly we kind of went into 25 not expecting it to be a very special year for movies. You're all like, this is kind of a down year that we're waiting for 26 because there was a lot of these announcements, and I feel like 25 kind of proved that, because I feel like we've all talked about it that we didn't really. I know for me, as somebody who, I try to see as many movies as I can. I know for my rating system that a lot of my movies in my higher rankings were all non-25 releases, other ones that I had just watched. So 25 was a bit of a down year like we thought. Kind of just waiting for 26 to come, and 26 seems like it has a good chance to live up to that hype.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
but again, it's a wait and see kind of approach, because it's a lot of cash grabs. So there's a chance that they're just there specifically just to make money, and there's no actual substance there. But we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it'll be even crazier once they announce that the Batman Part 2 is actually coming out 2026, that they've already filmed it and they got it ready. So that'll, really go crazy. But yeah, that's going to do it for our look ahead at 2026. As always, let us know in the comments below what are the movies you're most hyped for, or what are the ones that you're like, come on now, studio, what are you doing? That's a cash grab. We're talking to you, Disney, because we're sure almost every one of those is a Disney one. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.